In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet the Almond Ridges stitch. You get these beautiful sort of almond shapes here, and if I just turn it slightly you'll see the ridges really do sort of stand out from the stitches. It's a 4-row repeater pattern where rows 1 and 2 are the same and then 3 and 4 are the same, so really you've only got to remember 2 rows. So it's a really nice mindful stitch to do. On the reverse you get a sort of brick like pattern, also looks a bit like leaves with a little vein running through, which is just as pretty. Obviously you don't get the ridges quite so much on the back as you do on the front. So for this tutorial I am using an Aran yarn. This is a paint box yarn, and I was trying to figure out why I was so attracted to it today, and then I realised that it was actually the yarn I used to make this cardigan with. So it's a really nice and cosy yarn to work with. I'm using a 5mm crochet hook with my Aran yarn. I have scissors to cut off my ends and a needle to sew in my ends. So we're going to start off by making a foundation chain. So we're going to start with a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And our foundation chain needs to be made in multiples of 8 plus 5 for turning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's one multiple of 8. So make your foundation chain for as long or as short as you would like it to be in a multiple of 8 plus an extra 5, and I will see you in a moment. So I've done my sample piece. I've done 2 multiples of 8 to give me 16, and then I have done my 5 extra. So to start off then we're going to be working in the second chain from the hook, so we don't count the one on the hook. So 1, 2. And in that chain we're going to do a slip stitch. Now this slip stitch, don't make them too tight because you're going to be crocheting into them later. So we insert, yarn over, pull back through the chain, then straight away pull through the one on your hook. So that's 1. We're going to do 4 in total, so that's 1, insert, yarn over, pull through the one on your hook. 2, insert, yarn over, pull through the one on your hook. That's 3, insert, yarn over, pull through the one on your hook. That's 4. We're now going to do 4 half trebles. So in US that would be half double crochet, and we're going to do 1 in each of the next 4 stitches. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's the first one. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, pull through all 3. So there we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. No, I've got another one to do. So another half treble. So you should have 4 half trebles in total. So will have worked now 8 stitches, 4 slip stitches and 4 half trebles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we're going to do 4 slip stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then 4 half trebles. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we're going to do that all the way down our row. So we have 4 slip stitches, 4 half trebles, 4 slip stitches, 4 half trebles, and you will end your row with 4 slip stitches, which is what I'm about to do now. So if you need to pause the video to catch up with the rest of your row, pause the video now. So I just need to do my 4 slip stitches, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. So throughout this pattern, on every row that you start slip stitches, you'll finish with slip stitches. On every row that you start half trebles, you'll finish on half trebles, and you'll see how that works as we go through the pattern. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to be working in the back loops. So if you just twist your work slightly towards you, you'll see that you have 2 V's, so 2 stitches that make up a V, and we're just going to be working in the ones that are furthest away from us, so all the ones that are at the back. We're not going through the front ones, and this is what gives us our ridges. So we're going to start off by making 4 slip stitches. So we have our chain, and we're going in that very first stitch there, back loop only, with a slip stitch, 1, back loop only, 2, back loop only, 3, back loop only, 4. We're now going to do our 4 half trebles, back loops only. So I yarn over and pull through all 3, that's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I'm going to do 4 slip stitches, again back loops only, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we do 4 half trebles, 4 slip stitches all the way down your row till you get to the end, and because we started on slip stitches we will end on slip stitches. So pause the video now if you need to catch up with the rest of this row, and I will see you towards the end of the row. So I'm just doing my last slip stitches in the back loops only. Now on the very last stitch you can go into the back loop only, or you could go through both parts of the stitch. If you do that you get a little bit more rigidity in the edge of your work, so I'm going to go through both parts of that stitch if I can get it through. And there we have row 2. So you can see now when you turn it over that you have these little almond shapes. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, ready to start row 3. Now row 3 starts with half trebles, which means we're going to end with half trebles, and we're essentially filling in the gaps in these bumps. So we're working in back loops only still. So half trebles, so we're going 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we're going to do 4 slip stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll do 4 half trebles again, all in back loops, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we do 4 slip stitches again, then 4 half trebles until we get to the end of the row. So pause the video now whilst you work your way to the end of the row, and I will see you in a moment. So for row 4 we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we're going to work 4 half trebles. So that's 1, 2, 3, remember back loops only, 4 slip stitches, back loops only, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we're going to do 4 half trebles, back loops only, 1, 2, 3 and 4 slip stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we end on our 4 half trebles. So if you need to catch up because you have a bigger foundation chain, pause the video now and I'll see you in a moment. So I've got my 4 half trebles left to do. So it's 1, 2, these are all in the back loop, 3, I keep saying it because it's easy to forget, and then the very last one we're going to go through both parts of the loop, and 4. Just flip that over. So essentially that is the repeated pattern. So you start off with your chain, 4 slip stitch, 4 half treble, 4 slip stitch, 4 half treble, 4 slip stitch, chain 1, second row is exactly the same, 4 slip stitch, 4 half treble, obviously we're going in back loops only, the slip stitches, half trebles, slip stitch, and then on rows 3 and 4 you start with the half trebles, so you just flip those around. So it's a really simple pattern, as long as you don't do your what are they called, slip stitches too tight. It's a really easy pattern to work with. So I'm just going to work up a few more rows for you to see how it looks, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've worked up a few more rows for you to see how the pattern looks, and you get these lovely almond shapes, and obviously you're getting the ridges because you're working in the back and the front loops, so that's where you get your name Almond Ridges from. On the reverse you've got a sort of, could be a brick effect because you've got this sort of staggered bricks. Also looks a little bit like leaves to me because you've got the vein going up the middle and then the stitches around. So it looks just as nice on the back as it does on the front. So although this is a 4-row repeat, you're really doing 2 rows the same and then the next 2 rows are the same, if that makes sense. So rows 1 and 2 are the same and rows 3 and 4 are the same. So you get these half almonds at the ends of the rows and then your full almonds in the middle, and obviously the longer your piece of work the more almond shapes you're going to get. I think this would make a really nice baby blanket or a scarf because you can see that the back is just as nice as the front. It's just a really lovely stitch. It's another one that's quite mindful, although it is a sort of fairly thickish looking because of the ridges fabric. It's not quite as much of a stash buster as say thermal stitch or something like that. So it is quite warm, it is quite dense, it does sort of hold its shape, especially I've made this in an Aran, but it is sort of still quite stretchy. It's just a really lovely stitch. So I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm to show it to other crocheters and to spread the crochet joy. I shall pop 2 more videos right over there on the side of the screen to help you on your crochet journey, and I shall see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!